And gentlemen, I'm yours truly, the legend himself, Labzy, aka the best motherfucker you ever met in the history of your life, and I can prove it to even though I shouldn't. The most loyal, the most honest, and the most respected. And as we know, that it's been a journey reaching 100 guests on my show, and I want to say thank you to the people that have congratulated me for that. And yeah, there's going to be some interesting things coming as well. And also, don't forget to tune in 6 p.m. Friday, well, today, that I'm a guest on the Donkeyman show, which will be premiered. And that's going to be, that was a really good conversation as well. So I hope you all getting ready for that. Now, my next guest, she is a singer. She is an artist. She is a businesswoman, an entrepreneur, we'll definitely say. And the first time I saw her, she was performing at Zarina's album launch at the Art Gallery in St Kilda. And we didn't get a chance to chat, but we did follow each other on social media, and now we've organized an interview, and I'm gonna bring her in right now. An amazing job at what she does. I'll bring up her Instagram, and she's also a mother, a hardworking artist. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you Yolani.
Hello, how are you?
Good. Let's try this again, shall we?
Yeah, let's take two.
Take two. Yeah, I know. Yeah, so that was my bad on that one. I think it was my ADHD. I was just like, yeah.
Oh, good.
Um, but Yolani, thank you so much for coming on. First of all, I wanted to ask, how is your mental health?
My mental health is good. It's good. Um, I feel very strong, very content, very happy where I am at the moment. And it's taken a lot of work, but
Mhm.
we are here and it's good.
It's,
Thank you. Thank you for asking.
no, that's all good. And because I know you've got the Studio Empress, which I do want to get into a little bit later on as well. But I do want to talk about your music journey. So tell
Yeah.
me, you got to take it back for me. So how did music come to you? Was it through family? Was it an inspiration or from an artist or any stuff like that? Speak on
Yeah.
that.
Definitely came from family. So my dad is also a musician. He's a retired musician, but he was doing it for a very, very long time. He started way back when he was in Mauritius. He started as a guitarist, lead
Mhm.
guitarist, self-taught, and he sang in a band when he came to Australia. And when I was born and everything like that. So me and my mum, we used to go with him to his gigs. So he was in a Mauritian band. They'd all go to all the Mauritian bal and all the dances, and I would always go with him. And just seeing him up on stage performing, I knew it was something that I always wanted to do. And then I got into dancing quite young, and I've been exposed to the stage and performing from very, very small.
Yeah.
Even though I was quite shy when I was little, stepping onto that stage, it's like you become a different person. It's like an alter
Mm.
ego. It's kind of like takes over. And I never kind of grew out of that dream of wanting to be a performer, be a singer. And yeah, so it's definitely came down from my dad
Mm.
specifically and hasn't left since.
Yeah, I love that because even myself, I come from a line of musicians myself. So my dad was in a band. Also, my uncle was in a band, not together, but just like separate.
Yeah.
Back in the Egypt days when they were living their lives over there. And then my dad was bass guitar, acoustic. He also used to sing as well. And my uncle is a producer, songwriter. He knows how to songwrite in English, Italian, French, and Arabic.
Oh, that's amazing.
So
Of
and
course,
also
so it's in
my
your blood.
Oh man! And also, I got a cousin in Sydney as well. He goes by New Age Poet, which is a rapper, and also his brother is also a producer as well. So I know what that's like having a family of artists and having I don't know. I mean, and I want to ask an artist perspective. Do you think that music speaks to us in a way that nothing else can? Do you believe that?
Yes. 100%. And I feel like it's so powerful that I'm very intentional, even when it comes to my own music, that you use it in a good way, because it can
Mm,
be used either way, right? With the frequency, um, in the melody, and what people feel from listening to your music, and you have to be use it for good. That's why I'm very intentional. So it's very, very powerful. That's what I
yeah.
believe. Yeah.
Okay. So talk to me about songwriting. Did you get into poetry to kind of practice the way that you write in a way that kind of you wanted to make it sound like it's you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I never did poetry.
Mm,
Um, but how did I get into songwriting? I think it was just started down. My process is more like I'll be like journaling. So I'll
okay.
just get everything down onto a page, and then I would sort of like listen to a beat and then try to start structuring it from there. But when it comes to like the genre, like the yeah, like the genres and the topics that I write about,
Mm,
again, I always try to make it very positive, very empowering, um, and very uplifting for people. So I like to stay around those themes. Um, but I would have to say my songwriting has actually transformed after I had my kids. I think before that, you kind of write from experience, and I was writing like very empowering uplifting songs, but I didn't feel like it was very deep at
mm.
that time. And until I had my kids and started experiencing life through a different lens, I feel that really helped um, progress my songwriting skills. And now, yeah, it's just I feel like it's gotten better from that life experience. So definitely, like from my own experience and just like getting it all down and then working out the structure after. That's a little bit like what my process is when it comes to songwriting.
Wow, I like
Yeah.
that. Now, in your case, do you have to listen to the beat first and then you write the lyrics, or do you write the lyrics first and then listen to the beat to match it?
Yeah, I can do so. I have written songs all different ways. Sometimes I have a melody come to me first,
Mm,
like just randomly, it would just come in, and then I would kind of find the lyrics and the beat. But I would have to say, majority of my songs, I like to find the beat first,
mm.
because the beat, I feel it's what I don't know. I have to feel something first, and then I would hear a melody, and then I would know what that and match that with the lyrics or whatever I'm experiencing at the time that I'm feeling that will come out. But I really do like listening to the beat first. But I'm also very, very selective and very picky when it comes to my beats. So it can be very hard and time consuming. But once I find it, I am obsessed, and I just listen and repeat and repeat and repeat. But then what I do, so I look for a beat first, then
Mm.
I would kind of write my music, record a demo to it, and then I'll send that off to my producer, and I'll get that recreated and make it original. And like 99% of the time, it always comes back even better than like the first bit that I heard. And then I was like, it's so nice. Like when you collaborate with people, like you hear something one way and you're like, how can it be better? And then they make it into something magical. And it's just that process. It's amazing. I love it. It's really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, because going back to what you were saying that you're very picky when it comes to the types of beats, right? Do you believe that because the beat has to kind of like, I would say spiritually contact you, and then in order to really just let that flow through you through your lyrics, and then and obviously the lyrics will come to you through the music, and that's where that's where if it doesn't do that, then it's not I'm not going to waste my time. Is that kind of how that process
Oh,
is?
I have to add something in me has to go ping or something
Okay.
needs to light up. Even like the first few seconds, I
Mm,
know this count. Like there are a lot of good beats out there, but for it to really speak to me, for me to be inspired to write to, I really need that moment of it needs to like kind of take my breath away a little bit.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
Of
that's kind of
course.
how I use that as an indicator whether to one continue listening to the beat fully and then see what comes to me from listening to that, and then I use that as my indicator whether I should continue like with the whole process of creating that song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I think that even I've noticed that with me, like when I listen to beats, right? If
Hmm.
I it for me it takes about not even 3 seconds. If it doesn't
Yeah.
grab me, it doesn't grab me. But if it
So you're the
grabs me,
same. You're
it's
the
really
same.
gonna grab me.
Yes. Yeah.
So that would be the same for you in terms of like,
Yeah.
okay, this is now grabbed me. Do you it does it, and then now you feels like you know exactly what to write, or do you have to always?
I
So you know
feel
exactly what to write,
when you feel it, it
hmm
just pours out.
right?
And
Okay.
I've written like some of my best songs I've written within like half an hour. And then there's
Wow.
other songs that's taken me months or years, or like I write one piece and I leave it and I come back to it later. But those are ones that I'm like, I feel like it's because I want to finish that song or I have a reason to finish that song that I need to like concentrate and put time in it. But the ones that just flow
Mm,
are usually the best ones.
mm.
And I feel like it's sort of like a spiritual download that you get, right? Like you just get
Yeah.
like moment, you like just get it down like, oh my God. Like, yeah, it's a really, really nice feeling, but it's also something that you can't force. It's always something that comes randomly. Like even when I just get like a melody in in my head, like sometimes something just pop up out of nowhere and it'll just keep playing on repeat and repeat. I feel like that's just random inspiration. Like I try to structure time to write and to get inspiration and to do my stuff, but it just it doesn't come like that for me. It just needs to be, I guess, when I'm in a relaxed state and it's just like, it comes.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't just do
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Well, it's kind of what's that saying? Like if you, it's like a relationship. If you force it, it's just going to be shit.
Exactly. Exactly. It's not meant to be, right? It's not meant to be.
Yeah,
You have to force it. It's, yeah.
yeah, exactly. Wow, no, that's awesome. And now talk to me about, because I do want to talk about your music in a little bit later as well. Talk to me about support. Now, you're obviously a mother. It is, and obviously I can only imagine how hard it is for you to juggle between kids and being an entrepreneur as well as like being an artist as well, and also being a wife as well. So that's, you're a super mom right there. That's first and foremost.
Thank
Um, but like how do you feel that you've created that routine for everyday life?
I have and I haven't. I try as much as I
Yeah.
can, but nothing ever, or nothing always goes to plan, I should say.
Mm.
So I have to learn to be very flexible and be patient, which is not really my strengths. It's something that I practice, I have to like force myself to practice. And
Yeah.
like when you have kids, you kind of have to, that's what like they taught me. It taught me patience and like I'm very much like to go on plan with things. I schedule things, but like when things don't go anywhere, I'm like on the inside, I'm like, oh, but like, it's all lessons. It's all lessons. It is very, very hard, but I have to say because they're my purpose and they're my why as to what I'm doing this, I have to keep that in my mind when things don't go to plan and sometimes just be present. And like when I'm with them, I try to give them all my attention and be present with them as hard as it can be, knowing there's just so many things going on in the background. I've got to email back this person, I've got to record this, and there are so many tabs open in my mind, and I just have to try and
Yeah.
be
Just
calm.
chill.
It's hard. It's not easy, but I'm very conscious of it, and I really do try my best, because at the end of the day, like I'm doing this for them. I'm doing this so I can be home with them,
Mm.
and if I'm like taken away while they're home, it kind of beats the purpose of why I'm doing this. So I have to keep that in my mind, and I try my best. But yes, sometimes things don't go to plan, but we do our best and we move
Yeah.
forward.
No, I love that. Would you want your kids to follow your footsteps to either be a singer or a rapper, or get involved in music in some way?
I would love that, but what I would love even more is whatever dream they had, that they go for it. And
Right.
I really want to be the example of that. And like, yes, it would be so nice. And I can see them have interest in music already, but if they have another dream, anything, I really want to be that anchor for them, for like their safety net, so they can go for it and not be afraid, and know that home, they'll always have home to come back to, you know. Um, so whatever they decide, I'm going to be wholeheartedly supportive of, and I'm so excited to see what they do, each of them.
Mm.
I have like visions of what each of them can possibly be compared like with their personalities at the moment. So it'll be interesting to see which direction they go. But I'm very excited for their future, and I'm going to be very, very supportive no matter what they choose. As long as it's a dream and it's not like something mediocre, I'm like, go for it. You got this
Yeah.
whole time. I just want to open their eyes to all the possibilities and be their biggest cheerleader.
Yeah, no, that's awesome because the reason why I asked that was because I always see a lot of artists that don't get the support from family
Mm.
because the some people believe that, oh, it's just a waste of time, it's just it's just a dream, and then we get over it and we do what everyone else does, but then we become miserable if we do that. You know what I mean? There's
Yeah.
going to be a piece of us that's going to be missing. There's always going to be that we're just not going to feel complete. You know what I'm saying? So I want to ask you, in your journey of being music, do you feel that you've always had that support, or have you ever like? And if not, how did you build the courage to just do it anyway?
Yeah. I did have support, as in like I think people never really took me seriously when I was younger. Like with my family, they always supported me. Like whatever I was doing, they never told me I shouldn't do it. But it was never something I was doing full time.
Mm.
Um, I I feel like that's sort of like an ethnic family when you come from that background. Like, you know, you go, I know, you get a job at the bank or with the government, like, or like something, and then they're like, oh, wow, that's a good job. But I was in corporate. I was working for the government as in data analytics. I was doing that, climbing the corporate ladder. Like, I was actually quite good at my job. And I had like so many other jobs before that. But yeah, I was always doing music on the side. And I used that language. I used to say, oh, you know, I do this, but I do singing on the side. It was always just like a little thing on the side. But it like it just didn't fulfill me completely. And I knew it was always something that I always come back to. No matter, it was changing all my jobs, but like I always came back to music. But yes, with the support, like, yeah, I didn't get the type of support that I needed, more so when I was younger, because your mindset, you know, you're very insecure at that time. Like you don't even know if you're good or not. I just knew I loved to do it, and I used that language a lot. Like I didn't think I was talented. I just did it because I like to do it, sort of thing. So I think because I didn't feel that myself, I was putting out that energy for people not to take me seriously. And I went through years and years and years of this, and it was very hard. I feel like I was just in the loop of chasing this dream. And I had a lot of opportunities along the way. Like I've done a lot of things that people would think, wow, that's a big achievement. But at the time, I didn't feel like it was. You know, I wasn't proud of myself. I didn't think it was a big thing. I didn't like celebrate those moments because I was constantly thinking, okay, what's next? And it wasn't enough. And I needed to do more. I needed to be better because I wasn't giving that to myself. And so until I started doing that work and knowing my worth, knowing my talent and owning it. And now when people ask me what I do, the first thing I say, I'm a singer songwriter, I'm a recording artist. That's the first thing I put out. And and then they're like, oh wow, and like and then you get that energy back. And then that's, you know, slowly starting building on that. And from doing that, the support started coming
Mm.
after I gave that to myself. So now I don't feel like I need it or that validation. Like I had to give that to myself first. So it took a long time, but I feel like I had to go through all those stages to get to this point. But like now, like I'm very confident in myself. But it did take a lot of work, and then the support came after
Yeah,
that.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that because I think what it is, this is what I believe. I believe that when you are passionate at what you do, you love what you do, you won't be able, you can't stop talking about what you love doing. And I
Mhm.
think going back to what you were saying about how, that's where the energy comes in,
Mhm.
right? Because you're passionate, they're gonna respond in a positive way because they are because people respond to passionate people. People respond to, well, depends. Well, basically, people respond to how you present yourself energetically, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, and I've always believed that, especially when I talk about my show. Like I'm always talking about how many people that I've interviewed or whatever. Da, da, da. They're like, oh wow, that's so cool. Da, da, da. It's that energy that comes back, and I've always loved that. And yeah, and also in like in the Arab world, for myself, me being a Middle Eastern, going back to what you were saying, like it's the ethnic kind of requirements of life where the culture will support you, but they won't support you. They'll
Yeah.
support you because it's not criminal activity, but
Yeah.
it's
Exactly.
yeah, and it's but they won't support.
Until their friends are talking about it, and they'll be like, "Oh, yes,
Ah, that's
now they
right.
know
Yeah,
you. Now they know you."
that as well. Yes, exactly. But it
Oh,
also in some ways that they won't support you because it doesn't add community value. You know
yeah,
what I mean? So it's just kind of that's the part that always have made me sad when it comes to, not to that level of support. But
yeah,
I love how you stick to your guns and you really just did this music. And this is why I always love interviewing a lot of creators because you guys have so much courage to just do it anyway when the world is saying no, but the universe is saying yes,
yeah.
right? And
And it's
because we're
so
so
strong,
flooded,
so strong
yeah,
inside. You can't ignore it.
exactly. And because obviously the world is flooded us with, trying to change our mind, try to think, reality or whatever, but the universe is saying no, stay in your delusion because I'm going to turn that into a reality. It's an
Yes.
interesting thing, and I love that. And this is why I love hanging around with you guys because it's a motivational thing. And man, and I love it. So this is why I love what I do as well. There's also another reason. Um, but yeah, back to you, Yolani. Sorry. So talk to me about your first studio session as an artist as Yolani.
Oh, well, if you're talking about my very first one, technically
Yes.
I'm Lani. That was my first stage name.
Hmm.
And then it got changed to Yolani later on. But that's a whole other story.
Yeah.
So my first recording session would have been at home, with recording equipment. So my husband got me recording equipment for Christmas. Um,
Top
early
G. Love
on,
it.
early on, we I got married quite young. I was
Mhm.
engaged at 21, married at 23. And so we've like grew up together. So this was like very early in my 20s. He got me my first recording equipment, and it meant so much to me because what he thinks like matters the most to me, right? So to get that gift, it was sort of like giving me permission to really go for it. And it like even though I probably would have done it anyway, but it means more that the person you're closest to is wholeheartedly in support of you. So that was very sentimental for me. And I remember he set it up for me, and I was learning how to record. Everything I've
Mhm.
done is all self-taught. And I think the movie Pitch Perfect came out
Mhm.
around that time, and they were doing like the mashups of the songs. And I think I did was Bruno Mars, Just the Way You Are.
Yep.
And I actually sang that at my wedding. Actually, that's like a little connection there. But
Love it.
it was that with another song. I can't remember what it was, but it was like an a cappella song. So I got to play around with my harmonies and recording, and I think I put that up on YouTube. I don't think it's up there anymore, but I did. I had like a YouTube channel because I think Instagram and all that was TikTok. That wasn't a thing back then, so it was YouTube. And yeah, so that was my first one, and it was very, very fun there, and it lit something up in me. And I think when you do something and it sparks some joy, I feel like that's a good indicator of where to keep your focus. So that was like a light bulb moment.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah,
And then that was the moment you're like, you know what, this is now my time. Like I'm
yeah,
gonna do this. Like I'm really gonna do this. Like this is how that spark in your eyes, like the fire in your eyes really started to really
yeah.
heat up.
Well, I think I kind of knew I wanted to do it before, but I feel like that was the start of being the person that learned how to do everything around it to make that happen. So not needing to go to someone to record, like, and when it comes to filming, because I have a degree in film production, in screen production, so I studied filmmaking. So I used those skills for my music, and then I taught myself how to record. So I used that and all these little bits and pieces to build that foundation to move forward, because you can't just do the music. If you're going to do this properly, you have to learn how to do all these different things. And that was probably one of the stepping stones to create that foundation.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Have you ever done your own music videos? Because
I
obviously with the skills that you've had all the time. Okay.
all
Oh
of them.
wow.
Yeah, I've done my storyboards. I was a director. I was producer. I like everything. The only thing I couldn't do was literally film. Or if I was by myself, I could probably film myself. But if I was going to do like a proper music video, I would get someone to film it. But like, yeah, everything around it, I
Yeah.
organize. I told you I'm an organized person. It's hard to let go sometimes. Sometimes people are like, oh, I could do this. I'm like, ah.
Or can I really? Yeah.
But
Because I think in your head it's like, well, no, I'm an organizer. I got this. I know exactly what I need to do. Like we think of
yeah,
these so many ideas, and then when we're physically doing it, like, yeah, no, I need help.
yeah, it's hard. You have to let go. Sometimes you cannot do everything, and I've learned that along the way.
Yeah.
Um, but yes, it's been very hard. And like even when it comes to editing, I like to edit my own videos and everything like that. I specialize in editing, so I love doing
Nice.
all of that. But there was a video that I did that I let them edit, and it
Hmm.
was hard. But it turned out really really good. But
Yeah.
it's hard letting that go, but you have to sometimes,
Yeah.
because it
Well,
can come back better. Like, you're not the best at everything, or because you
mm,
can't see it yet. Yeah.
well, I was also going to ask you as well, like when it comes to unreleased music, right? And also unreleased music videos. Do you do you have songs like in the vault that no one has ever heard and you just kind of like lock it away? And if so, is it because that you want to is it because you kind of wait to experience something to add to that song? Is it kind of like how that goes?
Yeah. I have a lot of songs I recorded, a lot of songs that I recorded like for other people that is just there. But I don't know why I never released them. Like, I released the ones, I think that I'm just very intentional with the ones that I release. Um, but there are a lot that like I started and then stopped. But that was like more back in the day.
Mm,
And it'd be interesting. I should actually go back and listen to them, because it'd be very like it's nice to hear how I sounded back then and my process back then, because it's very much different now. So I probably wouldn't release anything now because my sound has like changed over time.
mm,
But yes, when I first started, there was a lot that I did.
mm,
And I think also that comes down to who I was working with at the time. For a big chunk of my 20s, was working with a manager slash producer, and we recorded so many things, but he just wouldn't release them. And it was very,
mm,
very frustrating. And like some stuff was out of my control. So
mm.
I just had to like leave it
Yeah.
and start fresh. And I had to do that quite a few times over my artist journey because of things like that, legal things, you know.
Mhm.
But I just scrap it, start again, because
Yeah.
they can't stop me from making new music. And then I feel like that's just like a stepping stone to like a new chapter in my journey. So I'm happy to just leave it there
Mm.
and start new, but I can still appreciate it for myself.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and especially when it comes to like making your own like music videos and stuff, like you'd edit it in a way and it's like, yeah, but you look at it and like, yeah, no, but something's wrong, and you start to overthink, and then as you're going to say, like, sometimes you have to let that go and be like, but then if you give it to someone else, that makes you a bit nervous about it. Has that ever happened? And then you're like, yeah, all right, no, I gotta stop myself and just let it be, let it go, just let it.
Well,
Yeah.
I think everything that I've released, I've been quite happy with. I think there was only one video that was someone else edited, But then I was very like silly. Like I got things changed that that I didn't like. So I always make sure that I'm good with it before
Yeah.
it comes out. There was one music video that I did. I was actually very sad about it. I recorded a Christmas song actually, and I recorded a beautiful video for someone else filmed it, someone else edited it, and it was really, really nice. But then, because I was under a certain label at the time and things happen, I couldn't release it, or it's like I don't own it. So I couldn't release the song, I couldn't release the video, and so much effort went into that, and it was really sad because I actually really liked the song. But
But
again, out of my control, what can you do? You start new.
yeah, of course, yeah. Good old record labels, the biggest enemy of the music industry.
Oh my
Crazy.
God.
Oh Lord.
Tell me about it.
Oh, it's just ridiculous. I've just never understood why record labels really do this to artists, man. Like they just use them. Like they're the definition of like if the devil if it was a person, well it is a person, but if it is a physical place, it'd be the record labels because it just feels like you're doing everything they're telling you to do, but then they're doing things their way as well. But then
Mm,
there's no benefit. And it's like, well, what the
mm,
hell?
mm.
And it's just yeah, that's why that's you obviously being an independent artist. Do you feel like it's so much better, or do you think it's more stressful being an independent artist?
I think it's so much better.
Okay.
I've experienced both hands. And yes, it's nice to have the support.
Mm.
Yes, it's nice for your ego to say, I am a signed artist. You know,
Yeah, sounds fancy, doesn't it?
it sounds fancy. People like, oh, like they don't know the whole thing. Like,
Mm,
but well, from my experience, a lot of the things that they were doing for me, I was doing myself already.
mm,
And if anything, I was just releasing my rights.
mm,
And they were making all decisions. Everything I wanted to get put forward to had to go through them. So it was more like hoops to go through just to perform, just to do a song, just to do this and that. So yeah, with my experience, like I was supportive, yes, but this things happen. Like some of the decisions they made, they might think was morally right, but it wasn't morally right on my side,
mm,
and I couldn't live with that, and then
mm,
that caused issues.
mm.
And then having to get out of it, trying to get your music back, it's a big thing. So definitely a lesson learned. Um,
Yes.
I don't think they're bad people. I think they have good intentions, but yeah, what they think is right and wrong is if that doesn't align, it's not worth going forward. Like, and lucky I didn't get too deep. Like some people are like really, really deep into it and you can't get out, and it's like it's
Hmm.
soul crushing. And
Yeah.
so lucky I was able to get out of it. Now I'm independent and can do my own thing now, and it's so much better.
Yeah.
And I realized like a lot of the stuff they were doing, I knew how to do already. So I'm like, why do I think it was more my ego wanting to say I've been signed. 'Cause normally you would think that's the next step, right? But
Yeah.
there's so much other things you can do in the music industry, which I learned after this experience. And now like I feel like I don't need that. I
Mm.
don't need that. And I think I was just hanging on to that for the wrong reasons. And
Yeah.
so, again, lesson learned.
Yeah.
Maybe
Of course.
that's it.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
and you were, and correct me if I'm wrong, you were on the X Factor as well, wasn't it?
Yes, back in
Yes.
back in 2013, I auditioned for the X Factor, and I got
Mhm.
through the first two stages, and it was quite an experience.
Yeah.
I have
Okay.
slightly traumatic. Um,
Yeah.
But it was definitely an experience. I learned that I didn't want to do that again.
Yeah.
For one, don't want to do
Mm.
reality TV show again. I don't want to do competitions again. I didn't want to do covers again. From that, I started writing my own songs and going
Right.
and doing my own thing. Yes, I think I wasn't naive to think that it wasn't staged. Like it's just common knowledge. It's staged, but to the extent seeing that backstage is a whole other level.
Mm.
It's a whole other level, and it like broke my heart for like some people that that you're there with for like a good amount of time, and your heart goes out to them, and you just know they were being used for bad TV content, and then you
Hmm.
question yourself. I'm like, am I there for bad TV content? Like, what
Yeah.
is going on? But then I was very conscious not to show that emotion on TV, so then I wouldn't get that bad screen time. Like, there's all these things going on in the head, and they try to push and push and push, and I just did not like that world. I'm like, this is not it. But you know what? I had to do that to realize that, because I thought my teenage self thought, like back in the day, like X Factor, Australian Idol, they were all like the biggest things, right? That was the only way in my tunnel vision to make it big. So, yeah, I had to give that a go. It didn't work. I pivoted.
Yeah.
Move
Yeah.
forward.
And
I feel like
yeah.
it's probably the motto of my whole journey. Didn't work, change direction, move forward.
And that's always been and it's always been the thing that I would feel it's heartbreaking as well, because when things are staged, it's just not real. And knowing like shows like X Factor, Australian Idol, these types of shows, it's all about ratings, right? And they try to bring a lot of controversy, a lot of like, make people feel sorry for you, so that way they appreciate you as a star and stuff like that. And then they'll basically, it's all ratings. That's all it is, right?
And like
And
even like with everyone, all the contestants that they got, like they create storylines like around it
mm,
that might not even be true. And for me, the
mm,
way they were trying to portray me was completely opposite to who I was. But because I was like so desperate to get it, I was like, I played up
yeah,
on it. Like
yeah,
before I went on stage, they tell you what to say to the judges, and all these things like weren't even true, and I just said it. I'm like, I look
mm,
back, I'm like, oh God, that's so stupid. I shouldn't. But like, you're young, you're desperate to get in this, you do what someone higher is telling you to do. Um, but yeah, it's very bad.
they always target the young ones.
Yeah,
They always target the young ones. But yeah, and I think it's also it's also the traumatic side effects as well, by putting so much pressure onto these artists, as well as now they're now being compared to, like, say, from you to another artist, and then now when it comes to the voting system as well, it's like when you see that, it's like, well, hang on, what I believed I performed, why didn't I get higher votes than this person? Now I'm kicked out. Now I'm mostly forgotten about, and no one's going to care about me anymore. And that's that overthinking that starts. You know what I mean? And I feel that that's it's it's such a bad way to kind of traumatize these types of artists as well, because some of them are passionate, some of them do go with it, and they know what they're doing as well. You probably would have seen that in your time as well. And but then someone that they were young, they're innocent, and they saw, the opportunity to make it big because they want to do that, and they thought by seeing it on TV, like you did, was like, yep, this is my ticket, all I got to do is just be on TV, and then we should be sweet, right?
like,
And I think let's look, the positive side of it is you can get jobs from being on these types of shows, where if you want to perform in corporate events and this type of stuff, and you can make money being an independent artist that way, right? But I don't know, I just feel like it's not worth the trauma, it's not worth the mental health damage, it's not.
yeah. I think if you're mentally there and you know
Mm,
exactly what you're getting yourself into and you can use it to your advantage, it could be good because you can get that initial fan base. But and then also you have the intelligence to maintain and to sustain your career, right? Because you can get the fan base, but then
mhm,
if you're not mentally there or things happen, you drop the ball, like nothing's going to come from it. You can have the fan base, but what are you getting from it? Are you releasing
mhm,
music continue your career like that?
mm.
But you have to be smart about it as
Yeah,
well.
you have to be
Yeah,
switched on, really switched on.
yeah.
All right. I want to talk about your music a little bit. So I'm on your Spotify right now.
Hmm.
Oh wow. 8,314. Talk to me about the song My Light. Apparently there's something to do with your son. Was that something? Yeah? Talk to me about that.
Yeah, so I wrote that song just after my son, so my first son my firstborn, I should say, it was born. And I was just in a point in my career where I was just at a loss. You know, I was working with someone for many years and I decided to kind of leave that behind and start going out as independent because it wasn't really working. And I was just like at a loss. I didn't know where my music career was going to go. I was a new mum, so my whole world just like completely upside down. I wasn't sleeping and it was very, very overwhelming for me at the start. It's a huge, huge change. And in that, I was like, can I even do music anymore? Am I going to have time to do it? I don't have any inspiration, like no energy. And a lot of things were out of my control. I couldn't perform, you know, I couldn't be recording. I was just by myself, isolated. And I just had to talk to myself and be like, the only thing that's in my control is I can write. I can write lyrics and write songs. So I remember very clearly. So I was at home. My son was in a little bouncer and I was just sitting there very sad, very depressed, sitting down on the playmat. And I was just going through some beats on my phone. And then, the melody just kind of just came in my head. Na, 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 na. It was just that melody. And it just kept going again and again and again and getting in my head. And then I found a beat and that kind of like suited. I'm like, oh, this is interesting. And I just wrote the song. And from that, my son, he's just looked at me and he was laughing and he was smiling and it was like full of life. And like from that, it just gave me like a surge of like energy. And I was like, oh, he likes it. Okay, just the song. And I actually wrote a couple of songs in that time, and Comme Si Comme Ça, which is released as well. So I think I was choosing between that one and My Light at the time to release. And I played both, and he really liked My Light. And I took that as my indicator. I was like, oh, okay, maybe this is a song. And like even like the lyrics were sort of like about him as well. Like he helped me see my light again. And so it was like through him that I saw that light and gave me that strength. And so that's where the lyrics kind of was inspired from. And from that surge of energy, I went from like having no energy to do anything and being like sad and just, you know, there, to all of a sudden I'm like, okay, I'm going to record a demo to this. I'm going to find a supporting artist, a featured artist to go on this. I'm going to go out and record it. I filmed a music video. And then all these things just started lining up. I got to perform this with a band at the pre-Jamaican Music Festival party that they had. I got radio interviews. It went on international radio play, like all these things. I was doing festival. I'd never done a festival before. I got festival slots. And so everything was happening from this song. And that was just literally from that moment of just like one of my lowest points, I would say. And then all of a sudden it just like rise up again through this song, through my son. And everything was going amazing. And then COVID hit.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay. You bring me up and you go slingshot back down. But okay, that's the story of my journey again.
Oh man.
But but yeah, no, that's where and that has actually still is my biggest song to date, which I'm very, very proud of.
Yeah, I love that. Now talk to me about fire.
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 Mm.
I said that right? Fire.
Yeah, yes, I love it. So that song, I wrote Fire, Lioness, and King. So that was 3 songs that I released one after the other after I did a relaunch of Yolani. So as I mentioned before, so I was previously Lani, and then after, you know, I had some issues like with the label, they wanted to take my name and all that. And I've decided, you know what, take it again, scratch again, drawing board. Changed my name to Yolani. So my grandma, who I believe is my spirit guide or someone watching over me, her name is Yolande. And I really wanted to pay tribute to her and I wanted to keep Lani in it. So somehow, so I came up with Yolani. So that's why I decided to change my name. Before that, so 6 months before I launched that and released those songs, so I was trying to get out of the label that I was with. my father-in-law passed away at that time. Then I found out a month later, I found out I was pregnant with twins. It was a very difficult time with grief, like realizing I'm going to have twins, which was huge. I was very, very scared.
Mm.
Throughout my entire pregnancy, it was very, very difficult, and dealing with trying to get my songs back and my name and all that stuff. So I kind of just went quiet on social media, and 2 weeks before I gave birth, I
Mm.
relaunched and rebranded myself as Yolani, and I released Lioness, Fire, and King, like one after the other, to have some momentum into this like brand new stage
Okay.
in music. And Fire, yes, was one of those songs, and I have a featured artist on that. Um, and Pelegro, his name is. So we met on Instagram,
Mm.
and he was a producer, and he provided like the beat and everything. I really liked it. Again, this is one of those songs I just, as soon as I heard it, I was just able to write to. And I think it's easy when I can do themes that really interest me. So my themes, obviously, besides positivity and empowerment, I really love astrology and all that. So fire, being a Leo, I
Mhm.
think of like the fire signs. I really want to do something around like fire and the fire energy.
Mm.
Um, and pretty much actually that song. So my husband is an air sign, and I am a fire sign, and I know that's like a really good compatibility. So I really wanted to write a song like he brings like the air and the fire. It's like such a good balance in
Mm.
that. So that's essentially what the song is about. But it came as so naturally, so fun, and I love to perform that one. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Now, talk to me about the Studio Empress.
Yeah.
What motivated you to build this up, and what can people do in this place?
Yeah. So what motivated me was pretty much I wanted a space for myself, essentially, to be able to not only record my vocals, like I have a full soundproof room to record my vocals, but to film high quality content, because social media is very important if you want to be a music artist, and you need to be able to brand yourself and do your content. And that was one of the things I was struggling with, that's being at home all day, not having a space to do things like properly, because I'm a very visual person. I come from a film background. I like things to look nice. And
Mm.
yes, I can film like wherever, but if I'm doing something, I need to do it properly. And I know a lot of artists probably feel the same as well.
Mm.
So I built something that I feel I would have really loved and appreciated from when I was younger as well, having like a safe place to go to be able to do all of these things.
Yeah.
So that's where it came from. I wanted to combine my skills with photography, film, and with music, my passion with music, and create like a safe space for that. So that's, how it was born. And I really, really want artists to come and feel safe here. Really, there's a lot of places that you can go to that is more like a hired place.
Mm.
Here, I help everything like with the creative directing. I help with recording from start to finish with the editing. It's like a collaborative process.
Hmm.
And that's what I offer to
Nice.
artists. And I'm also working on some artist development programs as well, to do with mindset as well, because I do have another business that I co-run with a energetic alignment coach. It's called Align Action Alliance, and we do workshops and events to do with universal laws. So I'm very into all of that, like manifestation and mindset and everything. And I really want to. It has helped me personally a lot when it comes to my music career, and that is something I really want to share with other artists as well, because it's hard, and you need to have that mindset to be able to sustain your career, and keep going and keep pushing forward. I feel like I'm a testament to that with everything
Yeah.
that's happened. You start again, rebuild.
Mm.
So that's where I'm kind of moving like towards as well. So creating workshops and things for artists to help them with their mindset and be confident and show up online and help brand them as well.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I love that. No, that's really good. Because I've also got a friend, Simon Cordoba, or Donkeyman, and he's got his own warehouse as well called Donkeyman Records. So where you can record music, you can record a podcast, you can record a music video, you can record a photo shoot, whatever, right? Or a video shoot, sorry. And yeah, and I love how people like you guys really are just allowing other artists to just come in and let them just make their craft and be in a space where they can feel safe mentally as well as they just let their imagination just go, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, no, I love that. All right, so we're going into the end of the interview, Yolani. I'm gonna ask you some questions, and you answer them to the best of your ability. All right?
Okay. Let's do it.
What's the first thing you do or think about when you wake up?
First thing I do, I check my phone. I know it's a bad
Okay.
habit, but I do. I'm not going to lie.
Okay. Black or white?
White.
Okay. If I could perform with someone dead or alive, who would it be?
Marina and the Diamonds.
Okay.
Yes.
If I can see someone perform dead or alive, who would it be?
Bob Marley.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you were stuck on an island for a year, you could only listen to 3 albums, what would they be?
Definitely Marina and the Diamonds, Electra Heart.
Hmm.
Um, and so my very first album that I got when I was little was Aqua. And I
Hmm.
still love them to this day. So Aqua and a Bob Marley album. Any of them.
Okay.
I can
Okay.
listen. Yeah.
I love that. My name is Yolani and I am blank.
I'm a recording artist, I'm a mother, and I'm an entrepreneur.
I love
Yeah.
it. I love it. All right. That's it. That's nothing from me. But was there anything you wanted to ask me? Anything you wanted to talk about at all?
No, I just wanted to say thank you so much for having me. And I appreciate everything that you're doing. And congratulations on getting to 100 episodes. That is amazing. That is a really big
Yes.
milestone. And I'm so
Yes.
honored to be 101. I like
Yep.
that number, 1 1 in
One
there.
101. Love that.
One, I love it, and I'm very grateful to be here. I just want to say a big thank you to you and everything that you're doing. You're doing an amazing job bringing
Thank
light
you.
to people in the creative industries, and I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your kind words, Yolani, and thank you so much for being on here, and thank you so much for the people that have joined in. This will be on YouTube and Spotify, and yeah, Yolani, you enjoy the rest of your day, and yeah, we'll speak soon. All right,
Thank you so much. Bye.
all right, bye, everybody.